Hello, hello, we are back with World Series in 2025, Masters Cup, round number 7. We go racing in that Porsche 911 GT3 RS. Today, it's the final 2 rounds of the Cup. Trial Mountain today, next week, Dragon Trail Gardens. So exciting season so far in the Masters Cup. Let's see what will happen in today's race. So have a quick look at our championship standings, and Racing took the lead in the championship after 3 round wins in a row. Rounds 4, 5, and 6 all went to Racing. So Blasi lost that lead, but just a 5-point gap between the two drivers, and still big points to gain. Even River Rockers in P3 still has a chance to win that Masters Cup, just 33 points behind. And with 2 rounds to go, it is a maximum of 110 points. I think, or even more, 116 points still to score. So yeah, it's far from over. And now with the fast car for the final 2 rounds, we'll see how that ends today at Trial Mountain. It is a high-speed track with those long straights. The Porsche has the DRS functionality, so as soon as you're above 100 kph, that DRS, you can enable it if you go in a straight line, that is, so through the turns. And below 100 kph, no DRS for you, but on those long straights it might help you a little bit to lower the drag. And we are actually not racing yet, so my overlays once again are prepared. Yeah, as you so we have 12 drivers today competing in those lovely Porsches. So no real teammates today. I mean, we could argue that White Tiger and B Racing both run a TCR livery on their cars, but different approaches to that livery. And then shout out to Stu for using a Rexy livery as well. And we have some colorful other liveries here as well, with a Red Bull happening. We have some Blasi specials again on that car. Very, very colorful one for Shelty. And yeah, I've also jumped into my Porsche 911 GT3 RS. I went with the JP design, right, with the green rims and the side mirrors. So a lovely little car to drive. I totally enjoyed that. And now let's stop waffling. We start that qualifying session now. So 10 minutes of qualifying as usual, then followed by a 30-minute race here. It will be as usual in the Masters Cup. The sports soft tires only, ×1 with the tire wear, ×1 with the fuel consumption. So 30 minutes sprint flat out, no pit stop needed. We have light damage as well, so yeah. And with that being said, we shall start that qualifying session now. Good luck, everybody. Progress start, and then we're off for qualifying session number 7 in the Masters Cup. see those lovely cars out on track very soon. Oh, what's that? Earlier, River with the lead early on, coming out of the pits. You can clearly see it's the 78 race number. It's the Masters Cup, representing Richie in a Herbie style 53 livery. Nice one. Be racing in his TCR livery style, whatever. Then Stu with the lovely Rexy livery on his GT3 RS. Also a little TCR banner on the side windows. Don't forget Rick with his Red Bull machine. Also a good looking car. Evoque goes again with a pink approach for this drive, and then we go to the front where we see Blasey, Pizza Planet, the fastest delivery, Porsche out on track for sure. And we saw B Racing Richie as well, then Shelty in a, I don't recognize that livery, but it looks colorful. That is nice. Sonic. So for a guest start today, Sprite. Ooh. Black and simple is beautiful for couch racing, that looks, and White Tiger in another TCR livery, Porsche. DMO, a bit of an enemy style or whatever it is. Alright, but here we go. It's first time on board we go with the river through the first flowing asses. Keeps it in fifth gear, interesting. I used fourth gear in my practice run, but can carry the speed. This one third gear close to the inside, then back on to the power again using the DRS. As often as possible. Second gear for rotation, third gear on exit here. That is nice. Into the right hander. Get back onto the power early. Now the all important left hander. A very narrow line early onto the power. Get some good exit speed. We see in the onboard display DRS is active. So powering down the back straight through the tunnel. About the little crest, sixth gear, and then you see the yellow sign on the right, Drake, just before it into third gear, slow left hand, a little bit of a banking, gets a solid run, and into the final sector we go, over the crest, downhill, oh, second gear, that's interesting, back into nice rotation in that second gear. Third gear on exit and a little lift. And now approaching the final chicane. Quick upshift to fifth gear. First gear for rotation. All interesting. And I'll be patient. Not hit the wall on the outside. And then let's go, go, go. What will the first lap time look like? 55.7, so I'm expecting like mid to low 55s, be racing with that 55.4, currently with traditional pole. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a very low 55, even with a bit of slipstream assist. Maybe get down to a 54. Sometimes Richie with a 55.9 in E3, Shelty also 55.9, Couch 56 euro, Blasey after a probably a bit of a slower warm-up lap. Do expect much faster lap time from Lovely. There's no slip though down that back straight, so it's all by himself. You see the next split sector. This will be an improvement. Needs to find the second at least to get himself further up the grid. This purple by a smidge, not much. It's interesting for me to get the use second gear through that downhill left-hander. Oh, didn't catch the apex, and this is where B Racing will get the run. It gets the slip as well. Keeps it in second gear, and now get ready for the run onto the start finish. I'm pretty sure B Racing will be improving with that lap. Let's see. Here we go, a 54.9 with that slipstream assist. Blasi 55.5. P2 River stays in P3 for now. Shelty jumped Ritchie P4, P5 by Ritchie, couch racing P6 penalty, not good. White Tiger currently P7 BMO, then P8 we have Rick in P9, Sonic in 11th at the moment. Should also probably improve on those lap times a little bit. And Evoke, oh, that first lap didn't count by the looks. Penalty probably. So again, a stellar performance. Oh, and B Racing lifting doesn't want to provide any slipstream assist. They had probably a slower lap so far. Oh, didn't want to impede like other drivers. River is not improving, staying in P3 for now with that lap. What about Blasi? He's pushing. Will he get a good run through the final chicane? River very wide, but this could be a little bit of slipstream assist now. The main straight. See, yeah, provides a little bit of a tow for Blasi. And 55.3 improvement, yes. On time, not on position. So that 54.9 was a hell of a lap. But no, unfortunate for Blasi, stuck behind River. Whoa! See improvements from the other drivers as well, and gaps between River, Shelty and Ritchie really, really close. One minute 20 to go. So if they cross the line, you still have the chance to complete one more lap. But this is the final lap for Ritchie, or sideways. But under control so far. Yet missed that apex slightly. Doesn't touch the wall. It's down a little bit on his time. There is Shelty. He might have the perfect timing to get one more lap in. Well, here we go. He stays in third gear for that corner. Once again, stays in third, understeers a little bit. See, less than 30 seconds to go, so he will get one more lap. Maybe a little bit too deep into that final chicane. And B Racing again looking to grab some toe on that lap. Shelty, no improvement. And it's the final lap. Rivers on the final lap. River with the hard leg penalty won't be improving. Couch in P6. White Tiger finished that qualifying session, but it looks the same goes for Sonic. So Sonic best he can get is P8. EMO crossed the line. Rick stays in P10. Stu parked it in P11. Ewok on that final lap as well. Will it be an improvement? A valid lap time this time. And jumps up to P9. So it looks like E-Racing will get that pole. It's half a second. And lastly with that penalty. So lastly won't be improving. There's Shelty leading that group, and Richie finished that session as well. And the question is, can Shelty jump River and Blasi to move up into the first row? Again, he's on a personal best. How much does he need? Not really much to jump River at least, and grab some extra points for the qualifying session. The top three get extra points, 8, 5, and 3 for the top three drivers in that session. Smooth run, just don't clip the wall. Yeah, that looks good. Would be an improvement. Now, head down, 55.6, yeah, jump River. Will be racing with the pole position, Blasi in P2, Shelty P3. And whoa, it went quick, but we'll bring up the results for you in a bit. So let's go to this one. Where is my thing? This one. So E-Racing with pole position 54.902. What a lap time it is. What a Dutch driver. He is on a roll, recently flying again. Yeah, had a bit of a slipstream assist, nevertheless. Even with that, out that, he would have probably had a 55-1 or something like that. Blasi then, P2 front row start, went for the Italian. Shelty and River Ruckus second row. In row number 3, we have Richie and Couch Racing. Row 4, an all TCR row with White Tiger and Sonic. And we have row number 5, York and DMO. And final row we have Rick and Stu. Again, we should be able to see some close battles on the track with those gaps, pretty sure. So right, we are starting that race soon now. 30 minutes of racing action, of slipstreaming down those straights. Will that DRS do anything really good for you, or just will it be a pain for your thumbs to keep that button pressed? We don't know, but it's still a good thing that you can enable a drag reduction system. So, let's get the usual stuff done. Have a good race. Good luck, everybody. And then let's get into this race. Round number 7 of the Martins Cup, part of the GT Driver career. Presented by the World Series. Here with CLR Community League Racing. Whoa, that was a long introduction. But let's go into the race. We go 30 minutes. So looking at 16 laps of racing. here at Trial Mountain. And here we go. No, we still hear those horns. But the good thing is for the upcoming cups, we won't have any road cars, so no more annoying horns. Here we go. The engine's revving. We see the lights. 4, 5. Tension is high, and boom! Away we go. Oh, cars jumping, buddy hopping, and be racing not with the best start. Blasi with a rocket start, and they go side by side for the first time into the S's. Be racing down to P4. A slow start. Blasi takes the lead. Shouty P2. River Rockets P3. Be racing. Then slots in P4. Richie around the outside with Couch Racing on the inside. West the other line. Now for the right hander. It should be Richie against Be Racing. Be Racing on the outside. Someone went into the wall. I think that was Sonic. Richie challenging Be Racing on the inside. Be Racing held that line. Stays in P4. Richie equipped. Couch Racing P6. Ewok and Stu. Good start for the two drivers. P7, P8, BMO. Then in P9. Rick blasting past BMO, Sonic and White Tiger, the two TCR drivers. They had a little bit of an incident. Let's see if we can catch that again. Oh, it was friendly fire between the two drivers. White Tiger took out Sonic. No! But I saw White Tiger was waiting. So Blasi with a nice run. Half a second. Shelty in P2, River in third, under pressure. E-Racing really close already, side by side they go, and gets a decent run. Has the inside line now. Can he cover the inside line for the chicane? For now he can. River looks for a cutback move maybe. What about Richie? A bit of a laggy connection. Looks jumping all over the place. 1.3 seconds already, the gap between E-Racing and Shelty with the top two. A little gap, and River was looking for a brief moment, but wasn't close enough. Through the S's we go, and E-Racing opening up that gap slightly, half a second. Oh, but missed the apex. Get the best run. Has to go defensive early. We see the rear wing with the DRS opening up and closing once again. River is right behind. Oh, that long straight will be a good opportunity. Half a second. He tries to break that hole. One defensive move, left to the right again. Keeps it at fourth hand. Right behind River, not close enough to send it, or will he? We never know. Richie sends it from 100 meters. And it was so Richie. Let's watch it again. Like, let's go! Yeah, River left that inside line open, definitely. But again, a massive send. He made it stop, so fair play. With the top two, Blasi and Shelty, more turns, then 2 seconds to gap to B Racing, who has 3 cars right behind Richie, River Ruckus, and Couch Racing. Then we have a little gap to Evox, to Rick, Sonic. They're all bunched up. No, let's see, we go side by side. No, Sonic not using the toe for now. Slots in behind Stu in a moment. And White Tiger around the outside. Can he hold that line without getting a penalty through the S's? Yes, he made that move. Stick BMO drops down to P12, but is still in striking distance. And the gap between White Tiger and Sonic also not that big at the moment. Oh, Sonic looks down the inside of Stu, a little bit of contact. Powers through up in position. P9 is second to Rick, who has a half-second penalty. Not good. That penalty zone is at the start of the start. Finish straight. So good news for Evoque, that is. Jump back to the front runners. Couch racing. Lost a little bit to River and Richie, and B Racing suddenly back the fight for the lead. Look at that, just 7-8 tenths. They got two Shelty. They had 2-second lead when we left them, and now it's a bigger gap between the Banana Boy. Just spotted that again. It is Blasi and Shelty. So maybe an opportunity for Blasi to break free. Can open up the gap to 1.5, 1.6 seconds. He will be outside of the slipstream range. It's 1.4 at the moment. And nice lap, maybe racing with the new fastest lap. Yeah, he closed that gap, 55.0, and right up the back of Shelty. Richie and River trying to follow the leaders. Richie goes too wide, 2 wheels on the ground, still have dirty tires, and River goes through, but the gap now 2 seconds, sorry, to B Racing and Shelty, and B with a nice little run. Has to be patient for the back straight. Now use the DRS. Shelty to the left, going defensive, staying defensive probably. And that slipstream will be probably too much. Oh, hello. Side by side they go. Shelty defended that inside line. It will help Blasi, who has 2.4 seconds now. And a little bit of fighting between the two TCR drivers in P2 and P3. This was the golden opportunity for Blasi to check out maybe. 2.2 now, no more slipstream for the drivers behind. Shelty being in a defensive move today. Doesn't want to let the championship leader pass without a fight. Again, that slipstream is strong. Will be racing, go for the move or bump draft. Oh no. Shelty again covering the inside. Will he go side by side? Yes, no, they won't. Can't see that happening again. A bit out of shape for Shelty, all over the place, losing them some precious time. B-Racing looking down the inside. Shelty goes too deep onto the outside, and B-Racing goes past up into second position. That helped River and Richie within a second now again, and unfortunately Couch ahead to somewhere a mistake, I don't know, 58. Yeah, he was close, but now the gap is just too big. He's dropping outside of the slipstream, 2.5 seconds. Evoque in P7 at the moment, all by himself. What about the next driver? Sonic also cleared that group of drivers in P8 on the hunt for the next position. BMO versus White Tiger. White Tiger using the toe, the drag. BMO going defensive. And we have Rick and Stu. So inside line versus outside line once again. Who gets that move? Will it be a cutback? No. Rick also defending his position against Stu. Rexy in P12 showing the teeth and trying to gain one position. Shelty is still right behind, using both tapping the wall, and looks like Shelty with the better exit. This time it is B-Racing going defensive, taking the inside line. No, leaving that gap open now. Shelty really close. Look at that. Again, a bit too hot maybe into those asses. As he keeps it on the track. River 8, 9, 10th, the gap just Richie 1 second. So had a bit of a poor run through the S's. Final chicane maybe as well. They need to rely on that slipstream once again. 6/10 of the gap. Shelty will gain on that back straight once he has enabled the DRS. Yeah, and now starting to gain a little bit better initial run into the tunnel and the back straight for B-Racing, so which gave him the advantage, and in the end B-Racing could like increase that gap. Shelty going very straight down into that right-hander. Probably not the ideal line. So it's a second now, and the leader of Blasi, no drama so far, 3.5 seconds. Everything under control today. The final sector, again a little bit of tap from some of the drivers. Shelty with a bigger tap on the wall. This is the opportunity for River Ruckus to close the gap even more. It's 1.4 to B-Racing at the moment. River won't be going for that move, but will be very close. Maybe they want to work together now to try and close that gap. Couch lost contact, 3 seconds at the moment. 2.5 seconds again to Evon. Sonic with 5 seconds. He had a 58 last time around, so that didn't help with the chase for P number 7, White Tiger in 8, and then we have the BMO and Rick. There was a little bit of contact between the both, and looks around the outside. Can he make that move stick? Yes, he can for the moment. The BMO looks down the inside. No, has to back out of it for now. The 3 will go like bumper to bumper into the back straight section, and Stu's car got a little bit unsettled through the left-hander. BMO again up to P11 and chasing down Rick, the Australian driver, in P10 for now. It will stay as it is. Racing in the meantime has opened up the gap to Shelty, 1.7. So he's now clear of the immediate threat with the slipstream. Ruckus and Richie now forming an alliance, maybe, to close that gap to Shelty, and then the 3 might work together, like as we see in cycling, to give themselves some slipstream assist down the straights. Shelty went a little bit too wide onto the grass. Now 2 seconds that gap. Also, Racing collected a little penalty. Too much speed probably through the S's. And Blasi keeps his gap, roughly 4 seconds, nearly with the fastest lap of the race. His last time round, 55, 0.96, or to say 0.89. Oh, Racing. So the those extra points could also be very important. So 5 extra points for a fastest lap. We are halfway through this race. It's still close racing between Ritchie, River, Shelty, and a little gap to B Racing and Blasi. What about our fighting group? Rick, the BMO, and Stu. This is also far from over. Stu with that little penalty will lose contact for a moment, but as soon as the two drivers in front, BMO and Rick, are starting to fight, it's a good opportunity for Stu to close that gap once again. Then White Tiger, a bit of a lonely race at the moment, 4 seconds the gap to Sonic. He's doing some steady lap times. Sonic 4.5, gained half a second on Ewok last time around. Ewok 4 seconds, that gap to Couch. 56s all the way, but it's not enough to keep up with that pace at the front. Ritchie and River, can they bring down that gap once again? So they lost the slipstream for the moment. Shelty and B Racing with that penalty is again vulnerable down those straights. The slipstream will help the drivers behind again to come closer, and Shelty is exactly doing this at the moment. 1.1 now into the banked left-hander we go. It has a massive run into the turn, gained another 10th or so. So Shelty is flying now. Blasi, that was the leader. Blasi disconnected. No! Something happened. So we lost the leader. We had everything under control. This is a massive moment for the championship. So suddenly B Racing leading that race and could, in theory, claim the title today. It's a 5-point lead, but another 3 points on Blasi with that pole position, and now he's leading the race and has the fastest lap, so this could be maximum points for B Racing and maybe the championship decider. Ooh, I didn't see that coming. But yeah, massive moment here in the Masters Cup. Round 7 out of 8. So 1 second between B Racing and Shelty, 3 seconds then the gap to River and Ritchie, P3 and P4. Couch Racing then in 5th all by himself. Ewok in 6th. Sonic not really catching. Stays roughly between 4.5 and 5 seconds. White Tiger, in the meantime, is closing that gap very fast. It's caught up with Sonic, has a little bit of slipstream available. Then BMO, little gap to Rick, now who is under pressure. It's Stu, Rexy trying to give a little bit of a bump. Don't want to fight for now. Rick uses the wide line, carry the speed. Losing contact with the Belgian driver for now. 10.5 minutes to go. It's 5 laps. The gap between the top two has come down. 6th, 10th. Shelty with the fast lap of the race, so stealing 5 points from B Racing. And look at that, a massive first sector. 3/10. Wow. I still think the limits of the cars is very, very hard to really like grab it. What can you do with this car? It is a road car, but it's de facto it's a race car. Like that's so much grip, nice handling. So when I was doing my tests, I was probably also under driving that car still. But it's so much fun to drive this car. It's just the annoying thing that you have to press the DRS button all the time to leave it open. And that's a bit of a silly implementation in the game with boost the DRS. Can be racing, get back to the fastest of the race. We saw 2 purple sector times and a 54.8. So not on my watch for B Racing. He gets that fast lap without no Shelty with a 0.7. So the fuel is coming down and the car is getting lighter. The lap times will improve. So oh wow. So battle for the victory and the fastest lap of the race between the top 2, Richie and Rourke, is still close. And the gap 4.6 now to the 2 in front. Couch Racing all by himself in P5. Ewok in 6th and Sonic and White Tiger, the 2 TCR drivers, they have joined the race track again on the same sector and fighting for that position after that lap 1 incident between the 2 drivers. And again, White Tiger with a good run. Gained the 10th so far, now losing a little bit on the back straight. Now we'll gain a little bit in the slipstream, but it's 6th, 10th for the moment. Then good run into the left-hander, gained another 10th. Also Sonic found his rhythm. Looks touched that wall a little bit. Can he defend that position? And now White Tiger with a good run, Sonic clipping the grass and the dirt, using all of the tricks to distract White Tiger, heading into the final chicane, bit deep. So a compromised run on the exit, 7, 8 tenths at the moment. 55.0, not a shabby lap time at all, but not close to that fastest lap, 54.758. That's the time to beat, 6 minutes to go. The battle is still not over for the victory between B Racing and Shelty. Richie and River Ruckus also within a second roughly, so also battle for P3. Still something to look at, and a little run through the grid. Rick, Stu and BMO, they're still fighting for positions 9, 10 and 11 for now. It is Rick leading in this group. Stu in P10 and BMO P11. So also can't say who will get that position in the end. I think Rick hits the wall coming into the tunnel on the back straight. Gonna lose a little bit of time. And White Tiger with a half-second penalty that will slow down his chase. Oh, Sonic gets a little bit of a breather for one lap. Shelty again, that final sector, Shelty territory, gaining every time on the racing, but the first and the middle sector belongs to the Dutch driver. So in the end, it is very, very even between the both drivers, and advantage for the racing. Currently, oh, that Rio went a little bit. That cost him some momentum. It understeers through the left-hander. Not the best run. Saw better. And now Shelty with the opportunity to close that gap, bring it down less than half a second now, using slipstream and DRS. Tight line early on the power. Not as committed as we've seen earlier. Kenny uses magic in the final sector to bring that gap to half a second when they cross the line. So just over 3 minutes to go. 6:10 at the moment. Now the run out of the chicane. Nearly touched that wall, but it's 7:10 for now. So it's 2 more laps to go. 7:10 between the top 2, and Richie opened up that gap to Rigo Rickus in P4. It looks like Richie will get another podium position. Couch down in 5th, Ewok P6, 3 seconds of gap to Sonic. Sonic going out. No, he served the penalty just. So that gap again up to 4.5 seconds. White Tiger has the slipstream again. Stu, Rick and BMO. Rick with that penalty. It's a half second. We will lose contact with Stu, and Willie stay close to BMO on that penultimate lap. That is the question. They will probably just be able to complete that lap number 16. Back to leaders. And again, middle sector for P Racing landed. Open up the gap 1 second plus at the stage. Carries the flow. Penalty for Shelty. It all looks like for victory number 4 in a row for the Dutch driver, and a huge step towards the title in the Masters Cup. It's a second, and Shelty has to serve that penalty now. He was pushing, and now getting slowed down and will lose that slipstream for now. So P Racing starts the final lap of the race. It will be roughly 1.8, 1.9 seconds before the SS make it 2 for this first sector, right? Big advantage. Now Richie in 3rd, Riddle Lucas in 4th. Positions seem to be settled at the moment at the front, at least. It is even in P6, Sonic 7th, White Tiger within a second. We start that final lap of the race as well. Stu, a little gap to BMO and Rick. Maybe that fight also has calmed down a little bit. Stu comes through that final chicane. He will get lap 16. That is certain. What about BMO and Rick? I think everyone will get that final lap. Yeah, here we go. Everyone is on lap number 16. And the racing comes down the back straight, 2.2 seconds. Maybe an early celebration lap. They're on 16. He's going purple. He wants to get it all. That fastest lap of the race. Can he do it? That is the question. That's a good run, 2.4, the gap to Shelty. So that is an indicator. So he is not a flyer. We saw a purple sector. He's using a bit of the grass, all of the track, and a bit more maybe. So the final chicane looked smooth. The run, no touchy on the wall, and will it be a new fastest lap as well? No. 5.9 Shelty in P2. Richie on the podium in third. River finishes in P4. Couch P5, and with the horns, Ewok, a lonely race but a good result, P6. White Tiger versus Sonic. It's a run to the line between the two DCR drivers, and White Tiger gets P7, Sonic P8. Stu versus PMO and Rick. Stu has a penalty, but he has nearly 4 seconds. So Rexy will finish in P9 for today's race. PMO touched the wall on the exit, but carries the speed. Will finish in P10 and Rick in P11. And that unlucky disconnect for Blasi, who was leading that race. So that's still very, very unfortunate. Alright, let's just do my admin stuff. So we have all the results later, and then let's go through the race results. So B Racing with the win, the 4th win in a row. Unstoppable at the moment. Shelty P2. Good fight between the two, and the fastest lap goes to Shelty as well. P3, it is for Richie on the podium once again. A good result for Richie, reserving in the series, not a full-time driver. 2 points. Then River is P4, so he will move up 1 spot in the overall championship standings, but the gap to B Racing is big. Also, yeah, we will see what happens next week. No. Out Racing then P5. Could stay with the front runners for the first couple of laps. We saw that previous races as well, and at some point he lost contact, and then without a slip and he was a bit a lonely race. Same goes for Ewok. First couple of laps here, a bit of fighting, and then had nothing and no one to race against, but P6, that's a good result. What about that? White Tiger and Sonic, and they had a good race towards the end. Then P8, and then we had 3 drivers that had a great battle as well, like the back of the grids to BMO and Rick. And yeah, the gaps in the end, they don't really show it, so they hope they enjoyed it. It looked like definitely on the broadcast spectate mode, but they had some great racing all around, some penalties in the end, but yeah, and then Blasi, that unlucky DNF, the disconnect. Peter, he will still get some points for that P12, but yeah, the gap will be then very, very big. Now to be racing for the final race. of the season. Speaking of the final race of the season, so round 8 next week, the grand finale of the Masters Cup, Dragon Trail Gardens in that same car. And we have random weather, and Dragon Trail Gardens is a track that could have rain with random weather settings. Just saying, we don't know what will happen, but this might be a twist and might throw a little bit of a spanner in the works for the drivers as well. We don't know. It is it's not like I have it under control with the weather. It's random, and the game decides whatever they want to do with those settings. So this could be a very interesting setup, and yeah, I hope to see you there for the season finale next Thursday it is, and then we'll have a little break on the Thursday for 2 weeks, I think, and then we start with the next cup. So after the Masters Cup, we will go into the Touring Cars Cup. Group 4 FF cars will be the weapons of choice for the drivers, and the drivers, they can pick in order of the championship standings of this Masters Cup out of the available cars. So we'll get to that then once starting that Touring Cars Cup and in a couple of weeks time. So yeah, that's it all from my side. So enjoyed the stream. I, as usual, had a great time watching those drivers do those races in the Masters Cup, and see you soon, I guess. Take care. Bye bye. Yippee-ki-yay.